Name is Jake, and I'm here with my pal Kyle.
Hey,
And
good afternoon, everyone. I'm
this
Kyle
is
in Austin,
this is the
and we
Founders Way podcast, and we are here at RPAN to speak about business, entrepreneurship, startups, and all things business. And we are interested in your feedback and thoughts on that. Um, how things been? So you're just back from a little trip to cool down.
yeah, I was out in New Mexico, up in the mountains, kind of in a sky island, and it was really nice. I got some time to cool off a little bit. Looks like we are on our pan. I can see us now. That's good.
We are
Yeah, so
on
I've had a
RPAN, but
good week. How about you?
is the sound working? Will be the question. So anyone out there is able to give us some feedback on that, that's always helpful. Yeah, what is the Sky Island? Did you say? What did I miss there?
I can say, actually, just to give you a tip off. I'm listening to the sound, and it sounds really good. So, a sky island is
Is that a place or a thing?
well, it's a thing. A sky island is like a mountaintop that's surrounded by desert, right? So you get these things in Arizona and New Mexico, and maybe some places in Colorado too, where the desert might be 100 degrees all around, but this little town called Cloudcroft is up at 9,000 feet, and it rains every day, and it's 70 degrees high, and it's just a completely different it's sort of biosphere than the surrounding land. So they call that a sky island.
You find all the coolest stuff, Kyle. You're very good.
Well, you had to do a lot to get away from the heat that we've been sitting in. It's about a 10-hour drive from here,
Yeah, I
but
think
it's been good.
we're the top live stream over at RPAN.
Hey, how about that? We got 5 watchers. Good to see all you guys. So, you know, uh, yeah, we've had a good week, but really what we're talking about is entrepreneurship, doing startups. We've been doing this. This is our 19th episode on RPAN and also on LinkedIn and YouTube. And we want to hear from you guys. So, if you have anything in the chat box regarding startups, entrepreneurship, even if you've just like thought about running a business, but you don't know where to start, give us a call, give us a chat, because this is what we're here to talk about. Speaking of which,
And
Jake,
yep.
how's your business going this week?
So we have an early stage fintech startup, and I am a first time entrepreneur, first time startup founder, and it's hard work. It's really hard. And I don't know if I told you the story in this way before, Kyle, but when I got my master's degree in digital innovation for fintech, I didn't plan on this. I didn't plan to like go be an entrepreneur. I've come into
Why?
it late. I've come into it late in life. Well, I thought I was going to get that degree and go work for like a big company and like help a big company push a digitally innovative solution to their customers. And I went to work with a big company and found out that they were really, really terrible at it. And I
Hmm,
thought, I think I can go out on my own and do better than what this big company is doing. And so that and coronavirus is really what drove me in this direction to be a first time entrepreneur. And I'm a little
interesting.
what's the word? It would have been it's such an interesting environment that it would have been nice to I don't want to say I regret, but it would have been nice to come into entrepreneurship maybe earlier in life. Because it's really
Hmm.
challenging and really fun. And for people that are good at it, and not many of them are, but for the ones that are good at it, profitable as well.
There's a lot of questions there without getting too personal. I don't want to dox you or anything, but you said this master's in uh, digital innovation. Is that a master's of science degree or an MBA? What is that?
Um, I don't know the answer to that question. It's definitely not an MBA. There are MBAs that focus on fintech, but they were mostly MBAs with like a little bit of fintech. And I did
Mhm.
consider them, but in the end, I went for just a master's in digital innovation.
And I say this because I don't want anyone who's thinking about being an entrepreneur to be dissuaded by the fact that they don't have a graduate degree. I mean, just because both you and I do doesn't mean that you have to, right?
Oh
Um,
no, absolutely
and
not.
and I got started. I don't know how old were you when you got your graduate degree?
I was older.
I was
It's pretty
37.
recent. It's pretty recent. So, yeah, I was older than that.
So I would well, so we're both late in life graduate school. We both had a lot of experience before we decided to go to graduate school, right? I mean, that's the point. I don't like I
Yep.
said, I don't want to dox you. You look very young. Um, I was 37 when I got an MBA, right? 22, 20, 21 when I got a BBA. And I had a
But
lot of
I almost
experience.
feel like most entrepreneurs don't have a master's degree or MBA.
No, I mean, not necessarily. I mean, it doesn't hurt, but
Yeah.
you don't need it. You don't need it at all. And that's actually the course of my work is encouraging people that there is a path to entrepreneurship where you don't need an MBA to do it, or even a BBA. If you've got a plan, you can follow, right? I don't think that it's important really for people to have a master's degree in order to do it well. If you're organized and motivated, right? What what inspired you to get that graduate degree anyway?
For me personally, I wasn't happy with my professional career. I'd left the country, I'd gone to another country, and my career took a different path. And I also wanted to do something more technical. And I was fascinated by the space, and I see a ton of opportunity in the fintech space. And so I really wanted
Mhm.
to be able to make myself an expert in that space. And I wasn't one of the personalities who was a programming personality. There's people that can teach themselves Python. There's people that have built programs like yourself. You've built software programs, and there's some people that are ingenuitive in that way. But there's a new world now where you can code and build things just with no code, low code, and dragging and dropping. But I still didn't. I saw like this wall in front of me, and I regularly see it on Reddit. I regularly see people posting in fintech and sales. How do I get into fintech? How do I get into SaaS sales? I'm in college. What should I be studying? And I regularly respond to those people because I face that wall as well. How do I get through
Yeah.
this glass ceiling from this side of the economy into a digital economy?
That's interesting because I think that it sounds like from what I'm hearing, you and I came from if you think of entrepreneurship as or any business as basically two major organs, sales and operations, right? Now we're going to lump a lot of things into sales like marketing and account management and all that. We're going to lump everything having to do with operations and technical stuff like the software development into ops, right? You came from a sales background. I came from an ops background. I see a lot of, chatter on Reddit and Discord and other places where somebody's looking for a tech co-founder or somebody's got a really great idea as a tech, but they don't know how to market it, right? And it seems like if you can play to your strength, understand what you don't have and do need and be able to find it, that seems to be like a recipe for success. Um,
Well, it's interesting that you say that because I'm going to be going for a new partner, and for a while I mentioned it to one or two people that are mentoring us and said like I'm thinking about looking for a co-founder, and some people took umbrage with that. They were like, well, you're not really looking for a co-founder because that would mean they're doing this. And what I'm really looking for is to get some people on either on the tech side or either on the sales side that are willing to come into the company to work, for points. So I'm not really looking for that kind of co-founder, but I'm looking for people who genuinely want to come into an early stage startup and partner because I have a certain skill set and I have need of a few certain skill sets. And we built a great foundation. And so I may do that by going out to Reddit co-founder. StartHawk is a place that
mhm.
people look to collaborate and look for early startup projects, and also AngelList. And so, as you were speaking, I want to present like, hey, this is what we built so far. This is my skill set, and this is a skill set that can help us get to the next level. And it will be interesting to see if there's people out there that are the right fit and could be interested to join the mission.
Nice. Hey, just a real quick check in. Am I still coming through to you? I had
We seem to still be live and have some viewers, and you sound great to me. Hopefully, we sound great over on the feed as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. I just had a little bit of a glitch on my computer. I don't know why, but I think we've recovered from it. So, it, what, what, what's happened recently that has caused you to think about that co-founder person?
Um, I just can't do it all, and that's one of the great things about being a startup is meeting other founders, and every other founders, one of the great things about it is they're all just as tired as you. They're all just as busy as you. They're all as
Yeah.
swamped. They all look tired. They all look stressed. Some of them are in the valley of death and can relate with the ups and downs that you're going through. But I feel like I've reached a point where we've accomplished some things and we have a foundation. So 6 months ago, if I went and looking for people to be a co-founder, it would have been a very different conversation and we would have needed different skill sets. But we
Mhm.
built a technical team, we built products, we have some users, we have investors that like our deck and are giving us good feedback on the deck, but aren't getting their checkbooks out. And so, is it that we just need to find the right investors? Is it that we need to make our messaging a little more sexy? Or part of my mind is, can we get someone in here who can help me drive this up a level, by
Yeah.
either helping us do the development quicker and slicker and build a better product. What we have now is a starter product that's maybe a little clunky. Could someone come in and drive that so it's more complete? Or could someone come in and do sales and get us a few more partners and revenues? Because that is something that immediately investors will really rate highly.
Yeah. Yeah. Wait, well, that's a tough chicken or egg thing. I mean, it sounds like you've got a minimum viable product. Would you call it that? Um,
It's a tough question because we kind of have a three-part product. But my products, I think they're past MVP. We still need to do a better job of our product market fit, but I wouldn't say they're final, complete, polished products either. I think they're a long way from that.
yeah.
I
Okay.
think I think we're a little past MVP. I guess it would depend who you talk to.
Yeah,
And
and I don't
one
mean
of
to be
the,
jargony. That's a minimum viable product is MVP in the startup speak.
but you've hit on an interesting problem that I face personally, and that is that I used to pitch my deck and people would find holes in it and see like, this is wrong, or you need to fix this, or you need to add that. And so we would react to that and improve the deck, which was very time consuming. Now we've reached a point that people are like, the deck looks good, but we don't have the checks yet. So it's like, it's almost harder now. And some of the advice that we're getting now at the moment, Kyle, is some people are like, I like your deck, but maybe you should move this to the left. And someone else comes in and is like, I like the deck, but maybe you should move that same exact thing to the right. And so now we're getting some people that want you to tailor your deck to their interests, but that
Mhm.
may not be going to other investor interests. So now it's harder. Before it was easy, like, okay, we're missing this, let's get that in. Now it's like
Right.
it's a little something missing, but it's a little more ethereal.
Sounds like you don't have to react to every little cosmetic change that people are asking for anymore, that the bones are all there.
But the bones are there. The deck looks good. The messaging is coming through, but there's still some soft spots, I think, with our forecasting. Um, and it gets a little more difficult at this stage. And that's why having the right people from Angel List or from Reddit co-founder, someone who's launched a product before, has more experience, um, could solve a problem. Fresh eyes on the business.
Well, you heard it right here. Maybe your co-founder is out there in the audience right now just waiting to do
I,
something.
I actually connected with a really great guy from one of our previous sessions. I know you'd connected with a few people from previous sessions. I connected with one guy. I don't know that
Yeah,
he'll be a co-founder, but he is active in our space. So I guess you never know who's out there.
indeed. You
Anyone
do
out there that
not.
wants to discuss business, shoot a comment into the RPAN chat. Uh, I know Kyle looks aggressive, but he won't bite. Um, Sometimes people like to just tell jokes. That's okay too. We'd prefer to talk about business, but it is Reddit and it's an open forum. So let's make of
Yeah,
it what we do.
that's right. And that's what we're here for. We're here to help. I think that both you and I have taken a lot of lumps in our time. Um, and uh, we're here really to help those who are thinking about the entrepreneurial journey to take the right step. But that's exactly what it takes. And that's why most people aren't going to do it is you just got to put one foot in front of the other. Um, just do
It's,
it.
if it was easy, everyone would do it, right?
That's right. That's right.
There's difficulties to being an entrepreneur. There's even more difficulties to trying to do kind of like a startup business. which is why, franchises can make sense to people.
That's true. That's true. And that's, why I've been out here for years helping people who didn't have a business plan and don't know how to put together a pitch deck. Franchising is an option there. They can skip over that in a way.
But from what you were saying earlier, I don't think where I personally felt driven to get a master's degree and it was something that I wanted to do. I definitely don't think it's a necessity for entrepreneurship. And I think some of the most successful people are ones, just from a high level impression, are people that just wanted to do it and jumped in. And
Yeah.
through the course of failure, learned a space or saw an opportunity, saw something other people weren't going after. And just doing it is very powerful.
It's all a way of doing it better. I've had plenty of friends that have had a lot of domain expertise in a particular industry. And sometimes you can build a good business just by having great relationships there. That's how I started my first one, just knowing people.
Relationship building. That I
Yeah,
think that's a key to almost all businesses.
it is.
No matter what it is, you have to be able to be a great relationship builder, or to know your strengths are somewhere else in the business and hire someone who can have those relationships. Whether you're a restaurant, a car dealership, car
Yep.
mechanic,
Yep. I
fix
agree.
iPads, whatever it is.
That was a big lesson for me very early on, was that it's a lot about people and a little about numbers and operations, right? And
And one of the things that I'm stuck on that we've talked about before that I'm still really fascinated in is how to scale businesses. And a lot of small businesses are stuck at a certain level because they think they just have to work through it. And I'm kind of faced with that at the moment. I really want to build a team and scale a team, and that would solve a lot of my problems, but I have to reach a certain level before I'm able to do that. And scaling the team is more than just hiring people. You need to have a system. People need to be able to repeat. People need to be able to learn and independently work. And that's a conundrum that a lot of small businesses face.
yeah, I think that it's ends up being a chicken or egg problem. Um, think that to the extent that you can systematize just about anything you can do, any entrepreneur, I think, the admirable goal is to become irrelevant in the business that you've built, that it runs by itself. But you have to start somewhere. So it starts with an operations manual. And it even goes to the point where if you can systematize the way you hire people, make that a process so that you can bring people on, and you systematize how you grow the product, you systematize your sales funnel, um, and you systematize your management structure. At some point, you're not going to be relevant or even all that necessary in the business, except from a culture building and leadership perspective.
That is the
Um,
dream. But now I think you're touching on stuff that is really top level of business. Not only being able to scale a team, but being able to scale yourself out of a team. Now that to me is the black belt space that I think very few people get out of just that mentality of having a small business and a team and just working your butt off all the time. Being able to
yeah,
scale is extremely hard, but being able to scale yourself out of the business, that is like expert level
I
entrepreneurship.
know. And it's so easy to say it too. And it's so hard to do it.
I thought you were a bit. I wanted to pull you up on that because I thought you were a bit casual in that. Yeah, you scale yourself out of the business.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
That's the NBA hand wave. Sure. You
yeah.
just do this, do that. You're fine.
Business will be
Yeah.
fine. They'll run it. It'll be great.
Yeah. But I
But
know, it's on this side of it, it seems hard, you know, and, I find myself the way I've been able to scale my business and pull back is not really with employees as much as contractors, right? Like I sub out a lot of things,
it's the great
I
thing about
sub
the
out the
world
whole
today.
process.
I think it's easier to do that now than ever before, right? That gig economy
It
is there.
it
And
is,
resources on Fiverr and
it
Upwork.
is. I even think about, like, 21 years ago when I started my business, it was in the middle of the dot-com crash, right? So what I was doing, I was going around to all these dot-coms around Austin, and they were having fire sales. They were, vacating their office spaces and just had blade servers and laptops laying all around for pennies on the dollar, and that's what I had to do, is buy those blade servers and put them in a colo if I wanted to have something in the cloud, which wasn't a thing back then, dating myself. That was 2001, right? And now it's just totally different. You get yourself an AWS account and you're good to go, it's the ease with which you can scale on a technical perspective is so much easier than it was
What do you
then.
what do you what do you think of this impression that people have of millennials and younger generations of like not being able to work and not wanting to work?
I don't know. I think that's a fallacy. Um, I think
I,
that,
I hear that all the time, and I agree with you. I
and
think it's
here,
just that I think it's just that they don't want crappy jobs.
that's it. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. But if there isn't anything that's perceived to be gain, why the hell even do it? And I would be
Right.
in the same way.
But I'm thinking slightly differently from you, and I don't disagree with that. But like when you grow up in a world where on your phone, yeah, I don't use TikTok personally, but there's TikTok. There you can find all the entertainment you want. You can order a cab, you can order food, and suddenly you go to work and someone wants you to update a spreadsheet. You have an older generation who's used to running their business on a spreadsheet, and you get young people and you're like, update a spreadsheet. They don't want to do that. And so this modern kind of digitization, I think, is an opportunity to change how people work. And I think that there are young people out there that do want to work and do want opportunity. They definitely want to make money. Um,
Yeah.
but I think they just don't want to work the old way. They want something that's fresh and exciting. So there's a lot of older crowd complaining about young people not wanting to work. I think it's just that they're not willing to change.
Yeah. It's tough to say. And a lot of times I
I'm
kind of
making some
fall
broad
back.
assumptions there, but I'm interested in your feedback.
What did he say?
I'm making some broad assumptions there, but I'm interested in your thoughts.
Yeah, and it is tough to make broad assumptions, and I think the most relevant example that I pull from, or the most direct impact that I hear about, is my son and his friends. They're all 19, 20 years old, and they're all at that stage in life where they're bussing tables and being a lifeguard and serving ice cream and things like that. Um, and
That's living the life. That's the good life.
Well, sort of, if you live with your parents, but you ever tried to get your own apartment in Austin, like, by serving ice cream? It's impossible. You gotta pack a lot of kids into a two-bedroom apartment in order to make it affordable, to live in,
That must be tough.
and nobody wants that, right? So but for a lot of folks, that's the reward that people get is, "What's the reward?" Right? And I think about, like, the reward that I got for, getting a BBA in management information systems is I got to buy a house in the middle of town when I was 27, right? But it isn't like that anymore. I could buy a house that was, 1.5 times my household income. Well, what are they priced at now? It's
There,
just
there
not.
don't there don't seem to be a lot of good jobs out there for young people. That's
Yeah,
how I see it.
yeah. There's fewer good jobs, right? And so, and it gets into macroeconomic things, and I don't I mean, older generations always crap about younger ones, right? So I'm not going to get into that discussion, but I think that just macroeconomically, we're in a wave that goes in waves over the decades, right? And we're in a wave where it's kind of difficult. So, that creates some frustration, in people that are getting started out in their career right now.
Yeah, it's interesting because I'm really interested in digital innovation, but I see the way as we digitize some repetitive tasks, it leaves some of the jobs that are left as not that engaging.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that as a broad statement about every job that has to do with digital innovation, but some digital innovations, the end result is that the work at the end of it is even more mindless at the real like kind of bottom of the food chain.
Yeah, it is. Or at the top of the food chain, it is so abstract. Um, I mean, you think about all the infrastructure that we've built over the decades on top of the internet. A lot of it is so abstract that, I mean, you got to devote your life to diving really deep on a specific topic in order to, have a meaningful career. It's hard to be a
And that
generalist.
that I think is one of the greatest pieces of advice is that I never got as a younger person. is that you should know. I think this, and this is something I would pass on to my kids. I think you should know at least one thing in your personal life really deeply, and one thing in work. You should be an expert, at least know something, no matter what it is, extremely well.
Yep.
And I
Yep.
think that's a valuable piece of advice that I didn't get early in life. We are coming up to the top of the half hour. As usual, I've had a great time. Kyle, I always enjoy speaking to you. We do have a few watchers out there, and with a little bit of time that we have left, any last questions about entrepreneurship or startup, or any comments on how to run a business?
Yep. This is number 19 that we've done. And, we
Sofa
come on.
says, thinks that it's just a matter of there's opportunities out there if you wanna hustle and work hard.
Yeah,
I'd agree with that. I do
I
think
would too.
there's a different way to reach out to communities now, and it's harder to get your message through. I read a Reddit post yesterday about someone who used Vidyard and reached out to 30 recruiters and got like 11 responses.
Mm.
And I think that's an easy way to differentiate yourself from the crowd. So I'm a
What's
big
Vidyard?
big proponent of things like that. Um, Vidyard, Soapbox by Wistia, and Loom are just ways that you can record yourself and your screen and send a quick video message. And it's like a Chrome extension, so you can kind of hit a button, record yourself for 60 seconds. Whereas if you did it with like Zoom or an MP3 player, you'd have to kind of send a file. But you can just record yourself, send a link. It also can do like create a thumbnail, so you can put it in an email with like a little thumbnail. You can put titles over it, and very good in sales, by the way.
Yeah,
Great
good
product.
deal.
And we're leaving. Lots of people are lazy. I hear that about the young generation. I kind of, I'm not sure I believe that about everyone, but
I don't know. I don't
we'll
think so.
see.
I mean,
It has really affected the military. I could see from a military perspective, people are coming in heavier than usual, can't run as far, and they're stuck on their phone a lot. That would be very difficult.
yeah, yeah.
But I don't know if
They're,
that overlays to business in general, but I guess maybe we'll see.
I think I don't. It's tough for me to really make any sweeping uh, condemnations of generationally, and here's why is I remember when I was in college and the boomers were calling people my age slackers, right? Generation X, they're lost, just write them off, who cares, they're lazy, they're disaffected, they don't care, they don't get it. And um and I found that to be annoying, right? To be written off. All they cared about was their little kids, who ended up being the millennials, right? Younger than me. um and you know we can't I don't think we can do that.
You
I don't
turned out
I
all
don't think
right.
I have the license to it.
You
What?
turned out okay.
I turned out okay. My son's a Gen Z and he's turning out okay. He busts his ass and so did I. you know I was like,
Yeah.
slacker this, well, F you, man, I'll show you what a slacker is. And I'm still busting it. It may seem like I'm taking nice vacations here and there, but I'm like a duck, man. I'm all cool on the top. My legs a little running underneath, and they always have been, and they always will be. And that's how you can get where you want to go. Anyway, off my soapbox. It's been fun.
Great speaking to you, everyone. We'll be back next week. We are going to do 30 minutes on Wednesday afternoons of discussions on entrepreneurship, startup, and we appreciate all your questions and comments. And hopefully, we'll see you next time.
All right. See you later.